Doesn't that sound remind you of when you were born? No? This has been applause every day for the rest of my life. Hasn't it been for you too? Once you made it out, then you knew you had a chance, right? Before then, hey, stay where you are. It's nice, it's safe, it's warm, and so comfortable. Don't you remember how nice and comfortable it was in Mom? Jeez. What a pleasant prelude. And then we began to find ourselves being altered and changed by all these different things that were bombarding us. We were inundated with information, ways to be, how to think, how to feel. And we just, like sponges, absorbed it all. So that we came to the place of believing. We knew what was what. Do you ever figure out how to spell that one? Is that with a W, or how does that one go? You see, the point that we're getting at here today is our attachment to our beliefs and how they really keep us from truth. They keep us from growth. They keep us from freedom. And how often do we choose comfort over truth? I can't name the times. We always go for comfort until, guess what? Comfort isn't comfortable anymore. Then we are ready to make a change. And sometimes what that change means is we simply put on another layer because we don't want to leave comfort. You know, it's really scary to change your core beliefs. Don't take my word for it. Try it yourself and you'll find out just how scary it can get. Most of you grew up being something, right? You grew up being a Mormon. You grew up being Christian, Islamic, Jewish, atheist, Hellraiser. It can be a challenge when you look at a core belief that you've been living with and then question it. Question your feelings. Question the existence, the nature of God. I mean, a lot of us grew up with the assumption that there was a personal Savior awaiting our recognition, and that all we had to do was simply accept this other one, and hey, everything's taken care of. Except somewhere in there, there's a few glitches, you know, like you're waiting for the next thing? These are your core beliefs. Having anything to do with me. Trust me, I'm past those. Those ended for me a long time ago. But it was challenging for me when I was first confronted by the possibility that they were simply beliefs and were handed down. For hundreds of years, they've been handed down. So, the point is this. How can we really get to the truth except by questioning what we think we already know? And be willing to drop those beliefs in order to see what lies beyond them. You know, it doesn't really matter how old or how young you are. You're a believer. That's part of the nature of your being. So we're not really attacking belief. We're really simply putting a little light on what it is that fills that space in you that you claim to then say, I believe. If we ever tire of stagnating in comfort. We begin to look and see that the answers we've been given, they just don't add up. Or if we ever get to that place of feeling like there's something more, and we're not experiencing it, we may want to look at what it is that's preventing us from moving. Many times what you're going to find is the time, the energy, the essence that you have invested in what you believe. How do you change all this? Take a chance. Venture out of your comfort zone. Raise a few questions. Read or listen to opposing views. And try that without judgment. I know that's kind of like the qualifier, without judgment. Okay, so if you do that, then you're on your way to exploring. Exploring other views. So when you do this, there's going to be something that will be right there with you, and it's called discomfort. It is the absence of comfort. And you see, that's what a lot of us are so afraid to experience, is discomfort. Because once discomfort shows itself, then there has to be something else there that is stirring it and stimulating it to manifest as discomfort. And that can be scary. But if you give up too early for fear of discomfort, then you're really selling yourself short. You really want to try something scary? Spend time with other people who don't believe like you believe. I remember way back, see, I grew up in the South, so, the South has a very interesting way of viewing people that I just grew up with, assuming it was the way to look at other people. And then I remember seeing a documentary on this fellow who actually wanted to find out what it would be like to live as a black person, and he dyed his skin. And he slipped into the white world. And then he came forth with all of these interesting observations that I found as really fascinating, because I'd never considered how it would be to live as a black person in a white dominant society. So sometimes you have to allow yourself to move out of that comfort zone to even begin to consider what has been holding you there. We have a lot of collective limiting beliefs. One, work. Work must be a chore. It's just got to be a chore. Marriage turns you into a boring old person. Time is money. Once you're an adult, life's about responsibilities. Forget about fun. Dreams are not practical. Can those? From 5 on, forget about dreams. So, when you start looking at these, then you're probably going to come to a place of in yourself starting to feel, you know what? I don't really want to keep these beliefs. But then again, I'm kind of afraid to let go of them. Because, well, I look around me and I see, geez, that's just the way things are. Everybody else agrees with it too. I mean, if they agree with it, then there really must be something to it. It's become such a part of my identity to believe the way that I do that it's hard for me to change now. I mean, if I change, I'm taking a chance that I could stand up here on this platform and no one would recognize me. I would get no applause. I would get no appreciation. No one would bow down and worship me. Where the hell would I be? I would just be lost. I know, the obvious sometimes is hard to swallow. So, in order to solve the first problem, we need to realize that what often is seen as just the way things are is in reality, it's a collective assumption. That's all it is. So let's get to some of the personal ones too. And you don't have to raise your hands on this. We don't have an altar here, so you don't have to come up and confess of your sins and accept anyone as your personal, impersonal, whatever. Okay, but let's go with this first one. Here it is. The feeling of not being enough. The feeling of not having enough. Having to work hard for money. Not ever deserving success. And I have to do this all by myself. That last one was mine. It doesn't have anything to do with you. It's mine. I just thought I'd throw it in there, just in case some of you were feeling like this was all about you and I was exempting myself. Okay, so you see, this is a part of coming to a place of looking and seeing. There's a very definite possibility that you have assumed operating beliefs that are preventing you from really being you. So I'm going to just go into this right now. This is a little exercise. Anybody feel like doing a little exercise?
Yeah.
Okay. So put your little things away, please, boys and girls. Sit erect now. That's it. There you go. Smiles are better, but you don't have to. You can keep your eyes open, but it's amazing what you can experience if you close them. So begin with whatever uncomfortable, negative, or unwanted belief that may have come up just in this brief discussion regarding beliefs. Allow it to come to the forefront of your mind. And look at what's being expressed. If it is a feeling of not good enough or not having enough, or anything else, be present with it. The important part here is to simply allow it to come forward without judging it or attempting to push it away. Be honest with yourself about what's being expressed. Now, once you have a clear awareness of what the feeling or the thought goes with this belief, allow it to rest within your mind and body. Just allow it to be there within you. Be okay with it settling there wherever there is, and give it the space that it needs. Simply allow it to exist without offering resistance. Now, notice where in your body that feeling is resting. Maybe your shoulders, maybe your neck, your chest, your heart, the bottom of your stomach. It might be anywhere. Allow it to rest in a place within your body and simply notice that it is there. Feel a sense of acceptance and peace. Because it's so important for you to be gentle with yourself here. So if you can bring in acceptance and peace with regard to whatever is showing up. But if you experience any kind of resistance, bring your awareness back to that place in your body where the feeling is resting. Keep bringing your awareness back to that feeling place until you notice that the feeling is beginning to dissolve or has dissolved significantly. You can do this for as little as much time as necessary, and there is no right or wrong amount of time for this process. You may even find that you can't even remember what it was you were concerned with in the first place, and that's completely fine too. So whatever that belief is, once you feel it's dissolving or the resistance has decreased significantly, it can be useful to follow your mind. Now that you've allowed this belief, this feeling to rest in your body, and you are aware of exactly what it is, you can begin to transform it. To do this, we use a substitute assumption here. That any seemingly unwanted, frustrating, or negative belief, it has to have some kind of intended good that it was trying to do for us, and that we can't easily perceive. So begin with that assumption and ask, what is the intended good that's trying to be reached underneath that belief that has such an energy to it? Follow wherever you're guided, and allow yourself to be open to exploring the different layers of intention. You're working with the feeling of not good enough. You can ask yourself, what is the intended good that is trying to be reached from this feeling? You may find that underneath, a part of you wants to be protected from being embarrassed. Once you've gone through the first layer, the key is to keep asking the question, what's underneath this? That's at an even deeper level that's trying to be expressed. You may go from the desire to be protected from embarrassment to a deeper layer of safety and well-being that's trying to be reached. So if you ask yourself the question again and go deeper, you might find that there's an essential feeling of peace and love that's wanting to be expressed. So when you feel like you cannot question or probe any farther, you know you've reached a basic essence of what is truly wanting to be expressed. You'll feel this intuitively, and you'll have a sense of it. And once you've reached this basic level of expression, ask yourself what it would be like if you started from a place of feeling this basic essence of love, peace, unity, harmony, or whatever it is that you are being pulled to experience. Allow yourself to know that you have access to feeling this way now. This is without having to achieve it or seek it in the future by following some sequence of action. It's available to you right here, right now. So if you look at this from going from a core belief bringing it up, becoming aware of what it is underneath that you're really trying to achieve and accomplish. And then bringing that forward so that you begin to animate this and become at one with it by feeling it. You see that you've transformed the surface level, the unwanted but well-meaning feeling, into an intention that actually fuels and nourishes you instead of depleting you. So to bring this to a final step, whatever it is that you have felt, tell yourself, I want to feel peace, as an example. Allow that feeling to flood you and to flood your entire consciousness. You don't have to create it, or manufacture it, or get it from anywhere. It's available to you right now, within you. If you have trouble feeling it by simply saying, I want to feel peace, then ask the question, is there peace even here? And for those of you who work with, the revelation came to you regarding confidence. If you want to feel confidence, you might say, I want to feel confident. Then allow a feeling of confidence to flood your body and being. If you're feeling challenged with it, then simply ask, is there any confidence at all, even here? Be open to whatever arises and repeat it until you are feeling the way you want to feel, by creating a positively oriented belief that replaces a negative-based one. The comfort of Glenlivet. Just to make sure you're still with me. All right, thank you very much. For more information about the Metaphysical Church of Enlightenment or the Rodin Foundation, please go to our website at www.rodin.org. If you have been inspired by the revelations shared in these podcasts, please donate to the Rodin Foundation's ongoing efforts to help others help themselves at www.rodin.org/donate.